Deep in the heart of the Iranian desert stands a living organism that defies the harsh landscape around it. The Cypress of Aberku is a massive, towering giant, growing here for thousands of years. As centuries passed, this single tree acted as a silent witness. It has physically outlived the rise and fall of empires, early religions, shifting dynasties, and countless generations of people who once stood in its shade. But nature has strict biological limits. Eventually, all trees die. Ancient accounts tell of two other legendary cypresses, said to be planted by the prophet Zoroaster himself, which were completely destroyed centuries ago. The loss of those legendary trees created a fascinating paradox. When the wood and leaves vanished, the legacy of the cypress didn't fade with them. Instead, the abstract concept of the tree became deeply rooted in Iranian culture, growing stronger and more ubiquitous than before. How does a society engineer an idea so resilient that the death of the actual physical object no longer matters? The answer lies in a framework called continuity theory, which maps exactly how human civilizations manufacture immortality. The process begins with raw biology. The Iranian civilization developed in a semi-arid, punishing environment. For a tree to flourish under these difficult conditions was already a natural anomaly. Early observers noticed something else. Unlike deciduous trees that lose their leaves and look dead in the winter, the cypress is an evergreen. It remains vibrant year-round, offering a quiet victory over seasonal decay. Then there is its striking geometric shape. The trunk rarely bends, growing instead with a nearly perfect, elegant verticality that points straight towards the sky. Humans instinctively map meaning onto proportions like this. That unbending, upward trajectory became an obvious metaphor for aspiration, quiet dignity, and a clear line connecting the earth to the heavens. By translating these unique environmental survival skills and rigid shapes into human values, ancient communities took a standard biological organism and upgraded it into a baseline emotional metaphor for resilience. With that emotional foundation in place, the culture added a new layer of meaning by weaving the tree directly into its sacred narratives. By attributing the planting of those legendary ancient cypresses to Zoroaster, the tree was instantly tied to revelation. It was pulled out of the realm of mere botany and firmly linked to divine creation and cosmic moral order. This mythological weight was physically engineered into the architecture of the Persian garden. Here, designers contrasted tall, static cypresses with a flowing channel of water. It is a carefully constructed dialogue of elements. The cypress represents unwavering permanence, while the flowing water embodies continuous renewal and change, creating a perfect dynamic equilibrium. By physically planting these trees within religious lore and geometric architecture, society upgraded the cypress again. It was elevated from a sturdy desert plant to a historically sacred monument. The final stage of this evolution is abstraction. This is the point where the physical tree begins to disappear entirely behind a dense, highly stylized network of symbols. Artisans extracted the sharp geometry of a cypress and stamped it directly into everyday cultural memory. Its distinctive silhouette was painted onto ceramics, molded into architectural tiles, and woven into textiles like this Persian carpet. Persian poets then pushed the abstraction even further. In literature, the word cypress stopped meaning a literal tree. Instead, it became a shorthand code used to describe spiritual freedom, royal dignity, or the tall, elegant stature of a beloved. What drives this intense cultural saturation is a positive feedback loop. The natural reality feeds into myth, inspires visual art, and shapes literature. Each successive cycle of artistic reproduction reinforces collective memory, accelerating the loop over generations. Through this relentless cultural reproduction, the physical plant is rendered completely unnecessary. The symbol is now self-sustaining. Viewing this evolutionary structure from bottom to peak reveals organizational continuity. Once a concept moves into higher-level cultural layers, it is protected. The foundational material components at the very bottom can crumble and vanish, but the idea itself remains structurally intact. We see the results of this today. For the Iranian people, you don't even need a physical tree present to conjure its meaning. In an entirely empty room, the mere word Cypress instantly evokes a profound, enduring sense of life, hope, and resilience. A durable civilizational symbol like this doesn't happen overnight. It is carefully forged through centuries of recursive cultural transmission, layer by layer, interpretation by interpretation. This reveals a unique superpower of human civilization. By compounding our collective memory, we possess the ability to take the fragile, physical things of our world and re-engineer them into immortal ideas.